Thank you, Dr. Mom. It is now my pleasure to introduce one of our students who was inducted into the Gold Humanism Honor Society early today, Dr. Jason Domogauer. Jason is a member of the class of 2018, and he'll be receiving his MD degree next year. In May of 2016, he received his PhD, thus earning the title of doctor before graduating from medical school. His research focused on examining the mechanics of underlying cancer-associated fibroblast development and its responses to ionizing radiation. This work was sponsored by NASA, the New Jersey Commission for Cancer Research, the French Embassy, and the National Cancer Institute. Jason is also engaged in several local and national initiatives aimed at improving medical and health professional students' education surrounding LGBTQ and other sexual health topics. Most notably, he has served as the co-director of the American Medical Students Association Sexual Health Leadership course and is a co-founder of the Rutgers Human Sexuality and Medicine elective at New Jersey Medical School. Jason is interested in pursuing his career as an academic radiation oncologist, where he'll be able to further his basic science research while improving care for the LGBTQ community. Jason, please come forward.
Good afternoon, Golds, Sedans, members of the Gold Humanism Honor Society, faculty and staff, and most importantly, members of the class of 2021. It is my honor to be able to speak with you all today. As Dr. Johnson said, my name is Jason Domogauer, and I'm an 8th year medical student because I did the MD PhD. This means that I started medical school. Many of you are still starting high school or in very early stages, which is a little bit depressing for me, but very exciting for you because look how far you've all come. It brings me great joy to be able to speak to the incoming class. As a student member of the admissions committee, I've read many applications that are both amazing and inspiring. All of you are no exception. You and your family should be extremely proud of the accomplishments you have achieved and the ones that are still to come. Today, I'm here to speak of the importance of humanism in medicine. To me, being a physician is a calling and a profession of service. I was drawn to medicine and my hopeful career as a radiation oncologist because of my dad and his journey with metastatic lung cancer. My dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer in June of 2008 and passed away 3 short months later in August of 2008. As many of you know, perhaps personally, a cancer diagnosis is a life-altering event, not just for a patient, but for a family and a community. My dad was a 26-year veteran of the Elizabeth Police Department. He and my mom were high school sweethearts. He loved animals and boating, but what he enjoyed most was spending time with my family. To me, my dad is my hero and my best friend. He valued education and was extremely proud of me to be the first member of my family to graduate college. Although he was a bit disappointed that I was not going to be pursuing veterinary medicine, as he always hoped. And I guess attending Rutgers and specializing in animal science really just kind of led him on a little bit. You may be wondering why I'm sharing all of this with you. I do so because this is some of the information my dad's oncologist wanted to gather to better understand the man and the family facing this cancer diagnosis. Although he was a seasoned physician, he did not view my dad's cancer as routine. Rather, he recognized that this was an immense crisis in my dad's and my family's existence. He taught me the importance of knowing one's patient. Further, he reminded me that as a physician, we are tasked with treating the patient holistically, which includes caring for those who are caring for the patient. Although I am grateful for my dad's oncologist, my most important teacher was my dad. Throughout his life, he taught me to respect and care for others regardless of background or identity. He subscribed to the saying of not judging a book by its cover, as he frequently interacted with people facing immense hardships or crisis in their lives. Often these individuals were angry, yet he always met this with openness and compassion. He opted to take a moment and try to connect with the person to better understand who they were and what was underlying their current emotion. He often found that fear, uncertainty, and/or frustration were at the core. Yet by taking the time to connect and demonstrate that he cared, my dad became better equipped to help. During my dad's illness, he became the person in need of assistance. This was a new and unfamiliar territory for him. He frequently said that he was going to get through this and be there for my family. Although he never let it show, I knew how scared he was. Scared of leaving his family and scared of dying. When my dad was originally diagnosed, I was about to start my last summer semester at Rutgers. I had a few classes to finish my degree. I initially decided to drop these courses to stay home with my family. However, my dad refused adamantly. He told me that seeing my diploma would make him the happiest man in the world and make him feel better. Therefore, I focused on the courses and came home every week to see him. As the summer progressed, I began to both long for and fear returning home. As each time I returned, my dad grew increasingly unfamiliar to me. I saw the physical and mental progression of his disease, yet my dad was always ecstatic to see me. He would sit outside and talk about the classes I was taking and about applying to medical school. He would frequently try to slip in how wonderful vet school would be, which made us both laugh. It was during these times of sitting together that my dad taught me the importance of not forgetting the person behind the disease. Although my dad was outwardly changing, he was still my buddy that I knew my entire life. He still had hopes. He still had dreams. He refused to let cancer become his identity. As the summer ended, I finished my degree and had my diploma rushed home. Unfortunately, by this time, my dad was in a coma. I brought the piece of paper to his bedside to show him that I had kept my promise. My dad passed away 2 days later. I had my diploma cremated with him. For me, it was a way of thanking him for all the sacrifices he made and how he made me the person I am today, and give me the opportunity to take care of others and utilize all that he taught me. As I progressed through medical school, I've met many patients that remind me of my dad. They are scared, facing a disease they know little about, yet they remain steadfast and not allowing their lives to become consumed by it. As healthcare professionals, we can easily forget that an illness afflicts an individual. It does not become the individual. To truly treat a patient, we must know the person. We must know their past, know their present, and know their future. As a patient wants to know that you care for them on a deeper level, that you are in their corner, ready to tackle this unfamiliar foe right alongside them. As you begin your medical career, do not forget what brought you here. Many of the stories from your personal statements continue to inspire me and bring me great hope for the future of the next generation of physicians. I will not lie to you. Medical school is hard, and being a physician is going to be even harder. However, it can be exponentially more rewarding. Do not underestimate the impact you can have as a student, as a simple act of kindness can create a small ripple that will extend greatly beyond your wildest imagination. Lastly, remember that you'll have many educators throughout your medical career, with some of your most important teachers being your patients and their families. It can be easy to overlook the lessons that they impart if we are not open to receiving the gifts. I implore you to not brush aside a difficult patient, as they may be responding out of fear or pain. Do not overlook a comatose patient, as they may still value your company. Do not ignore a patient's family, as they also long for your care. And lastly, do not forget to care for yourselves, as one of the best things we can do for others is to ensure that we are happy and whole ourselves. Remember that there are many different types of teachers out there waiting for you. You just have to look for them. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Well, thank you, Jason. It was wonderful. Before we close, I would like to thank several groups for their ongoing efforts to